the phones very soon in this half hour. Now, I want to go back. Honestly, Obama did say, as a follow-up to here, play soundbite number 2. This is what we're bouncing off of. This one, I'm still nonplussed when I hear this. I mean, I've known it. I've known who this guy is from before his presidential campaign, because I know liberals. I know who they are. I know particularly the radicalized ideologues that today's liberal Democrats are. I know they don't like this country as founded. I know they resent it. I know that they've sworn to get rid of the capitalist system. I know exactly what they're all about. Here's Obama out now admitting it. And I hear him say this, and
if you got a business, you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen.
Now, they claim we're taking him out of context. He was talking about roads and bridges that he mentioned in a previous sentence, but I don't buy it. And even if it's true, you got a guy who can't communicate properly because everybody's thinking that he just said, if you got a business, you didn't build it. And somebody else made it happen, because everything else he said in that 49-second soundbite is oriented toward the same thing. You are nothing on your own. You are nothing. You don't amount to a smithereen hill of beans on your own. And he's followed that up with his typical straw man construction. He's out now saying that there are a lot of wealthy, this is a quote, there are a lot of wealthy, successful Americans who agree with me because they want to give something back. If you've been successful, you didn't get there on your own. You didn't get there on your own. He's repeating it. And now telling us that he's got all these wealthy people coming up. I agree with you, Mr. President. I want to give something back. Let me tell you, the achievers and the successful are not those who ought to be giving anything back. They already do. By virtue of their success, by virtue of their achievement, they are giving back. They share it. The old cliche about a rising tide lifts all boats. I've always been bothered by this give something back. Oh, it sounds wonderful. Man, it sounds big-hearted. And it sounds selfless. But I like what our old buddy Walter Williams says. You want to start talking about giving something back? Well, who ought to give it back is the thieves. Criminals. Life's reprobates who've taken what isn't theirs. They're the ones that ought to be giving back. Government, the ultimate sponge. But anyway, he says, wealthy quotes from the same speech. It's in the Roanoke speech. He just followed it up. He's got this straw man. Probably one rich guy said, if you want to give it back, write a check. But keep your hand out of everybody else's pocket. So he says a lot of wealthy people want their taxes raised. Who cares? You know, a lot of people don't want their taxes raised, too. And I would venture to say that there are more people who do not want their taxes raised than there are people who do. But here's the thing, folks. Obama is targeting people who are not wealthy. He's targeting small business people. He's targeting families and individuals who have the temerity not to buy health care. You're going to have a penalty or a fine if you don't buy health insurance, or a tax now. He wants to raise taxes on everybody. He's just fooling the middle class and everybody else by making them think he's only targeting the rich. There's not a person in this country who will not have their taxes raised if Obama is reelected, or if any Democrat is reelected. Maybe you have the temerity to work for somebody who provides you a so-called Cadillac health insurance policy, and you don't need to buy one on your own. Obama is targeting people who mine coal. He's targeting people who drill oil wells. He's targeting people who work on assembly lines. He is attacking anybody and everybody who earns a paycheck or who runs a business. Everybody is in his crosshairs, not just the rich. People who owe nothing to the government. Where is this idea everybody owes something to the government? This country was founded on the exact opposite proposition. That's why he went on this rant Friday in Roanoke to tell all of you that you owe what you have or what you are going to get. You owe it to him. You owe it to liberals. You owe it to bureaucrats. You owe it to politicians. You owe it to the beloved Democrat Party, but not your own individual labor. You don't owe it. It's not from the private sector. Not the American dream. No, no, no. You don't get anything you want from that. It all comes to you from the government. That's why he went on that rant. He wants you ashamed of your success. He wants you thinking your success is undeserved because it has been come by in ill-gotten ways. He wants you embarrassed and ashamed of your success, and he wants you hiding it. He doesn't want you flaunting it. He wants you embarrassed of it. He wants everybody else to think of your success the way people thought of an SUV not too many years ago, as something destroying the climate. He wants to stigmatize success as something that's undeserved and uncalled for and illegitimate. It isn't right that some people should succeed when others don't. And in true Democrat liberal fashion, instead of seeing people at different levels of economic success and wanting to equalize it or improve it by raising everybody, Obama wants to lower the people at the top so that we all have shared equal misery. The Democrats have never been about elevating. The Democrat Party, Obama, need a permanent underclass. They need a growing permanent underclass that is in total dependence upon them. That's why they are so radically opposed to upward mobility. Upward mobility takes people out of dependence. It is why the Democrats are totally in favor of whatever cultural rot that comes along that busts up the family. Because as families are busted up, Obama and the government get to move in and take over the role of provider, be that from the mother or father, whichever. There shall be no upward mobility, and those who experience it shall be ashamed and shall be embarrassed of it. And those who do not experience upward mobility will be justified in resenting those who are improving their lives. That's why he went on that rant Friday. To tell all of you that you owe whatever you have or whatever you're going to get to him. And his decision to let you have it and keep it. Or to liberals, or to bureaucrats, politicians, the government. I think, everybody running around. By the way, this tax return business, you people in Republican establishment, you know what you've done with this? For the last, let's just look at this particular campaign. What would you say it is, Snerdley? Last 2 years, the Republican establishment, and I say this without judgment, have been pushing Romney, right? Republican establishment, it's been clear as a bell. They've wanted Romney all along. They've done everything they can to split the conservative vote in the primaries. They did everything they could to denigrate genuine conservatives in the primary. They wanted Romney, Mr. Moderate, Mr. Mainstream, Mr. Establishment, Mr. Respectful, whatever. They wanted him, fine and dandy. They're the ones. And the establishment media on our side, they're the ones that were pushing Romney. Fine and dandy, as I say, I'm not making a judgment here. But now, those same people who were telling all of us, it's Romney, are now telling us that Romney hasn't done what's necessary to establish his validity as a candidate and therefore needs to release his tax returns? Where was this 2 years ago? Why now? Why now do you want to undercut the guy you told us was the only chance we had? No, I'm dead serious. The Republican establishment was obviously pushing Romney. And now that Obama and the Democrats are squealing about his tax returns, for some reason they get scared about that. And all of a sudden, after 2 years of telling us Romney's the guy, now they tell us, well, Romney's got some more to prove. Really? An interesting position that you've put yourselves in. You push a guy that you tell us now has not been fully vetted. And it's up to him to do it. We need to turn this around. It's Obama who should release his loan and mortgage records in the Resco deal. That hospital where Michelle was hired in a no-show job for $300,000 because her husband was a state senator. Let's see those hospital records. Let's see the history of Michelle Obama's being hired at that hospital. Let's see the truth of how that happened. Since everybody's making a demand for records of some kind here. How about the admissions office that accepted Obama into Occidental and Columbia and Harvard? How about releasing all of their records as well as his transcripts? We haven't seen Obama's medical records, his health report. We haven't seen, other than the annual physical from the White House doctor, we haven't seen anything on paper which would establish all these wonderful credentials the elites in our culture have told us Obama possesses. I think everybody who currently works for Obama, who worked at Bain or Goldman Sachs or other investment firms, ought to release all their tax returns for the last 10 years. Right here, Democrats attack Romney over layoffs made by Obama bundler. In 2001, a steel plant, Kansas City, run by Bain Capital, laid a bunch of people off. The guy running Bain Capital at the time is now a bundler and fundraiser for Obama. Romney left in 1999. In 2001, Bain closes down this steel plant. The media and the Democrats now are attacking Romney over layoffs orchestrated by Bain Capital when an Obama bundler was running the place. How's that for chutzpah? How about well, there's a lot of paperwork that Obama could release that would help us validate all these claims that have been made about Obama that we haven't seen any evidence of. I got to take a break. Phone calls are next when we get back here on the EIB network. Don't go away.